You can't stop procrastinating, and the last thing you want to do is just open up your phone and get back on social media or watch another YouTube video. And you want to try to figure out what is it that you can start to do to start just getting forward in life. Like how much time we've spent just waiting or pushing ourselves off doing things that we know we want to be doing. It's not like stuff like I need to go to the gym because like I need to like work out. It's like I want to like make more money, or I want to be able to have better relationships with my family, or I want to be able to not get angry anymore. And yet I can't get myself to procrastinate. And I want to share with you a bunch of different things that I have picked up over the past couple of years, a couple of things that I'm implementing right now, because I literally 2 days ago just started a recent goal of mine. And I want to share with you what is we can start to do to stop procrastinating more, to get ourselves just taking more action. And what's interesting about procrastination is that I believe that a lot of procrastination comes down to pretty much two things. And we're going to talk about these a little bit and then talk about some strategic tips that we could do. The first thing is like a lack of clarity. It's just like the unknown. I just don't know what I need to be doing, or I don't know how to be doing something. And therefore, I can't take action, and it's easier just to distract myself. Like how many people wake up in their 40s and 50s are like, oh my gosh, I should probably get into shape, or I probably should start working on my finances. And what's interesting is that they probably knew that when they were 20s and the 30s, but for whatever reason, they weren't able to get themselves back into taking that action, into stepping into the stuff that they need to not even like do, but like learn to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like even the step before that. And if we can start to just recognize, hey, if there's something that needs to get done, I need to try to figure out what it is I have to do to make that thing happen. And I can't distract myself, because the distraction is something for so many of us. It's more calm because we're not thinking about the other things, the other priorities in our life that we need to be getting done. The thing is, it's like those priorities don't go away. Like your health is not going to just go away until like you're dead, but like you're going to like be still worrying about your health afterwards. And a lot of people just want to numb themselves to whatever it is that they're going through. And I'm not, I know, who knows, maybe sometimes it's worth it to numb yourself because you want to sort of separate yourself from a situation that might have happened, and you need to get yourself back into it. You know, there is this concept of like having a mourning period when even somebody loses somebody. So I'm not saying that you have to be on 24/7, but most of the procrastination that we're doing, it's because there's something that is unknown. The other thing that I think that happens a lot is that we are scared. I think we as humans are scared. We're so scared. We're so scared about what's going to happen, what's going to be, what's not going to be. And I think that fear makes us want to just turn our heads to the reality of what's going to happen. People who smoke know it's not good for them. They know there's a very high chance that they might get lung cancer, but yet they're turning their blind eye to it because they're scared. They're scared of either getting lung cancer or scared of, being somebody who used to smoke and now is not a smoker, right? All these things. And on both sides of the aisle, they could be going. And I think what we need to try to figure out for ourselves is what's going on within us internally. And it's why I love speaking about personal development, because this is literally the work that needs to get done for us to be more successful, in order for us to be able to move forward. And if we can start to figure this stuff out, then I'm telling you, our lives are going to be so much different. We're going to have so much more opportunity. We're going to experience so much more. The people in our lives are just going to be so different. And then about how you feel about yourself and not anybody else is going to be so much different. And we need to ask ourselves, what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're not doing? And that's going to get me to my first tip. You see, I recently I just came back from a holiday, and I knew after this holiday, I'm going to be focusing. I have three main goals that I'm focusing on. So one of them is more of a hobby type goal. One of them is a business goal, and one of them is a family goal. And those are going to be my three main focuses for the next 6 months. Like that's going to be like my chunk of time. That's my sprint. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out what is it that I can start to do? How is it that I can sort of chop my day or my week up into these periods where I could focus on each one of those goals? So I just started going to sleep earlier so I could wake up earlier, because it always starts in the morning, and it doesn't really start in the morning. It starts the night before. So I started going earlier, sleep earlier. So hopefully by these times of days, by 9:45, I'm already like in pajamas, getting ready to go to bed, hopefully in bed already. By 10 o'clock, I'm in bed. So for most people, that is very early. I think for most kids, hopefully they're sleeping by then. But for most adults, I think that's pretty early. But for most high performers, the people that I listen to and watch and respect, they're in bed very early. And the reason why is because they want to get up early. So that's why I want to start getting up even earlier. So I had to start going to sleep a little bit earlier in order for myself to give myself more time in the morning when I'm able to focus and concentrate on one of my hobby goals. And my hobby goal right now, I used to be focusing on it for, let's say, 30 to 40 minutes every day. And now I'm doing it for an hour, 45 to 2 hours. I'm giving myself a 2-hour slot, but I've been finishing my work within an hour and 45 minutes. And that is something that I know I want to be really, really focused on. The next is going to be my business goals. So whether it's my current work that I'm doing now and the stuff that I'm looking to build, and I sort of split that into two different buckets over there. But they both really interconnect because I need both of them to help each other out. And by doing that, one of the things that I've done to help myself from not procrastinating is one of the things I've noticed, especially nowadays with what's going on in the world and what's going on in American politics and everything, is I need to know that I need to stay focused. And I get so lost on Twitter or on LinkedIn now that, like, LinkedIn's like a news site. Who knew that? But like I need to get really focused with what it is that I'm doing. And once I look at my apps, I'm like gone. You know what I'm saying? Not even like just because like it takes me 20 to 30 minutes just to get back into the work I was doing. It's just like my mind is like so fried because I'm so stressed out and anxious then because I saw so many things that I didn't want to be seeing. So what I told myself is that I'm not looking at social media till after 12 o'clock every day, till midday. Like that's going to be my goal. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it all day, but until 12 o'clock, I'm not going to be looking at social media. So what that means is I'm not looking at my WhatsApp status because like apparently that's like also a new social media, but I'm going to only be focusing on my work and my hobby and my family in the morning until 12 o'clock every day. And at 12:01, I could go check out sports. I could go look at the news, go see everything that's going on, give myself a nice, 10, 15, 20 minutes to catch up on everything. But then I'm getting like right back into like my work. And I don't want to be distracted for that big chunk of time in the beginning of the day. And what I've noticed so far in the past couple of days is like I've been so much more productive. I get so much more done and I'm so much more accomplished just till 12 o'clock in my day than I was like the whole rest of my day previously. And I think it's so important that so many times we try to put things in our life and we're going to set ourselves up properly, but we don't put the right boundaries around ourselves. And that is something that that's a game changer if you think about it. It's not like, what do I need to add to do? It's like, what do I need to take away from what I'm doing that's going to help me succeed? It's like, it's like somebody wearing like a weighted jacket when they're going running. And they're like, I don't know why I can't run so fast today. It's like, well, just take off the weighted jacket and you'll be able to run so much longer and you're going to have so much more energy. And what we need to realize is that so many of us are holding so much weight on us that because we're holding that weight, we're not able to move forward. And it just takes so much out of us. And if we could start to just figure out what are those things, and maybe it's certain people in our lives that just suck the energy out of us. And like whenever like we pop their name pops up on our phone, we just like can't stand it. Or whenever we hear about them, we just like get like this like disgusting feeling that like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that person's in my life, whatever it might be. And what we need to try to figure out is what is it that we're doing right now, and how is it that we can start to get ourselves in the position where we won't procrastinate, because the more we can get going in terms of things that are holding us back, that could really help us be able to move forward. So number one is to recognize what is it that I'm not doing to be able to get myself to go and take the action forward. The next thing I want to focus on is we need to start to get really clear in terms of what it is that we want. And this is something that I would always get so distracted with during my time. Love you too, Shy over there. This is something I used to always get very distracted with when it came to in my 20s. So I would have so many different goals and so many different ideas and everything like that. And I would just be all over the place. And I really decided, you know what, I can't be focused on too many things because then nothing's going to get done the way that I want it to get done. And I started to tell myself, I'm going to be only focusing on my 3 goals. They're all in different pockets of my life, my lifestyle, which is great also because then I think I'm working on a bunch of different areas of my life at the same time. And then within those goals, I'm only working on 1 or 2 things as well. And then hopefully as things become more natural, then I'll be able to just focus on the next and the next and the next, and then be able to snowball that effect that I'm going to be having. And I think that is something that's so powerful, that we need to be really focused and clear on what it is we're doing and why it is we're doing it. For so many of us, we don't know why we're doing something. It's like we want to make money, but it's like, why do you want to make money? It's like, how much money do you want to make? I was recently speaking to somebody who's extremely wealthy, who had a very, very great life. And they were telling me how, I asked them a question, and it was like a gutsy question to ask them, because I said, when you were younger and you were like my age, how much money were you making like per year annually? And it was a gutsy question because like, okay, they're probably making like a lot more now. So like, hopefully they wouldn't like they care. And they told me they were making around like $700,000 a year. And I was like, oh, really? That's it? Like, I thought you were making like millions of dollars based on the lifestyle that you were, that you say you lived and whatnot. And he's like, no, just about like $700,000 a year. I was so blown away by that because I'm thinking like so many of us want to be making millions of dollars, and and this guy was able to live such an incredible life, go on any vacation he wanted, take off whenever he wanted, do whatever he wanted, and then he's only I'm saying it's only it's like still a big number, but for a lot of people it's like only $700,000 a year. So like understands like what is that number that you really want even. So many people say they want to make $1 million, but like, do you really want $1 million? Maybe like $500,000 will be just as good. It'll be just as fine. And we need to start to figure out and ask ourselves these questions, because once we get clarity on that, then we have the ability to start to change and start to take the action that's necessary to get to the places that we want to get to. And for so many of us, we are just so confused and we don't know what to do. And this is what happens now when I'm going through my goals. So let's say I have my 3 goals. And one of my goals in my business is to start learning Facebook ads. So we'll get a little personal here. So I'm learning like about Facebook ads, and the Facebook ads are in order to do X and then to do Y and then to do Z. Like it's like the first phase of like what I'm trying to build out, but I'm really just trying to focus on the ads right now. And I'm sort of stuck in a position right now where the Facebook ads, some things like not connecting, right? So I'm getting leads in, but it's not connecting to everything else that's going on. And I realized that I have to figure this out because like this is a big part of it. And this is like what I'm learning now. So on the one hand, I could get really stressed out and just start to freak out about, oh my gosh, this is like, what's going on? I don't have any control. Like this is all going wrong. Or I could be like, okay, like I got to get curious. And like, this was going to happen. Something like this is going to happen. How can I start to fix this to allow myself to get better in terms of that positioning, to make sure that I could just fix it and move forward? And I realized what happened twice already is that I was trying to do my research in terms of how to fix the issue. And then I like just reached for my phone and just started to like go on social media. And I was like, why am I jumping to social media? Like I need to figure this thing out. And what I realized is that because it was unknown to me, because I don't know what to be doing, I got scared and I needed to distract myself because I didn't want to like focus on it anymore. And that's not okay. And I realized that. And after the second time I caught myself, I'm like, hey, Bennett, we need to just stay focused. We need to just figure this thing out, because if we don't figure this thing out, then like we're not going to be able to move forward to the next step. We're not going to be able to pass this level of running ads. And I think it was so important to me to be able to notice that, because for so many of us, we get so distracted, but it's the distraction is only the unknown. And we need to start to figure out what it is we need to be doing in order that we could continue taking that action. And the last and final point when it comes to procrastination, I believe, is we have to look to just make decisions and keep moving. For so many of us, we get so stagnant because we're indecisive. We're not sure where we should go or what we should be doing. And what we have to realize is that if we could just break it down into smaller steps and just take that first step, that is the next step we need to take. Like there's no trick in terms of like becoming successful. It's just learning how to take step by step by step. And the more successful you are, the quicker steps you could take, or you could start to jog or start to run, because you already know what it is that you're doing and you've done it before. So the first time you're looking to get into something, it's very difficult because you're like, everything's new to you. But then as you keep going, things get easier and easier and easier. So when it comes to even the stuff that we're looking to do, just understand, like, you know what, like the first time is going to be tough. It's going to be rough, but we need to decide and we need to move forward and we need to take the action. And once we have that action taken, then we can start to go into the direction that we want to go into. And that is something that is so powerful that so many people have to try to figure out, how is it that I can take the most action? Because the action is going to breed more action, which is going to breed more action, which is going to allow you to see results of the goals that you want to be taking. And once you see the results, it's like so addicting to continue, because you're like, oh my gosh, for me, it's like, I got leads. Like, this is amazing. Ads are working. And like, some of them are actually like performing pretty well. Like, that is awesome. Based on that, we need to start to ask ourselves and figure out, what is it that I can start to do to allow myself to take the action as much as possible. And when it comes to decision making, a lot of times we're not going to be 100% certain. You know, we want to be able to make a decision and we're 100% certain, like there's 100% capacity of like, I know that like the 100%, like this is going to be the right thing. But a lot of times when we have a decision to make, the fact that it's a decision shows that it's not going to be 100%. It might be 80%. It might be 60%, because we didn't do the thing yet. And the only way we can know is by taking that action. But if we've never taken the action, so how are we supposed to really know? Like, it's not fair to us. But because we're not 100%, we see the gap of the other 40%. And we're like, I don't know what to do. Well, it's like, well, right now you're at full capacity. Your 60% of knowing is your full capacity in terms of what it is you need to be doing to get to move forward. And I think if we could just start to understand these ideas, it could really just start to help us be able to move forward, stop procrastinating, and really look to just get things moving in our own direction. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be more productive. We all want to feel better about ourselves. And the more we're just being sucked into the life of other people, because remember, everybody's trying to catch everybody else for attention. If we can just figure out what is we need to be doing, that could be something that could change so much in our own lives. Let me know if you have any questions. Like always, feel free to reach out down below and stay tuned for all the fun and exciting stuff we have going on.